So picture this, you finally got your life running smoothly, your business is doing well, bills are paid on time, and you are even thinking about expanding. Things feel steady, and then almost overnight, protests erupt, streets fill with chaos, and the Prime Minister steps down, and suddenly you're left wondering, wait, what happens to my money when the government itself falls apart? That's exactly what happened in Nepal, and the best way to understand it is through the story of Rina, a hotel owner whose life got flipped upside down when the government collapsed. So Rina ran a small hotel in Pokhara. Nothing fancy but cozy and welcoming. Tourists loved it. She had a steady booking and her staff was doing well. And for the first time, she felt like she could actually plan ahead. Maybe add a few more rooms, maybe hire more people. It wasn't a luxury life, but it was stable, and for her, that meant everything. Then came the protests. It started with a social media ban, TikTok, Insta, all suddenly blocked. That didn't sit well with the people, especially the younger crowd. The protests grew, the tension built, and pretty soon the streets were packed. Things got heated, government offices were attacked, buildings burned, and then the Prime Minister resigned. Just like that, the government was out. For Rina, it wasn't about who was in power, it was about money. Tourists cancelled their bookings, the ones already there cut their trips short. Her hotel, which had been fully booked for weeks, went empty in a matter of days. And then came the damage. Protests spilled into her street, and her hotel windows got smashed, furniture ruined, and instead of saving for expansion, she was spending everything on repairs. That's the thing, when governments fall, the impact doesn't stay in parliament, it shows up in everyday people's pockets. And it wasn't just her, shops nearby lost customers, taxi drivers had no one to drive, food suppliers had fewer orders, tourism, one of Nepal's biggest sources of income, basically froze. It's like a domino effect. One business slows down, then everyone connected to it feels the hit. Meanwhile, the government was bleeding money too. Public buildings were destroyed, infrastructure was damaged, and all of that had to be repaired. But here's the problem. When businesses like Rina stop earning, the government collects less tax. So they had less money coming in while the expenses were shooting up. So to cover the gap, they had to borrow more, which meant piling on debt and interest. And here's the part people don't always see. It's not just about broken windows and cancelled bookings, it's about trust. Investors started pulling back, tourists stayed away, remembering the chaos. Even locals hesitated to spend or expand, worried it might all happen again. Rina herself thought twice before fixing up her hotel, because in her head it was like, what if this repeats next year? That loss of trust takes way longer to rebuild than a broken building. Eventually things calmed down, a new government came in, tourists slowly returned, and Rina reopened her hotel. Life went on, but it wasn't the same. Some of her friends had to close their business permanently, jobs disappeared, and even as the streets got back to normal, the government was left with heavier debt and slower growth. So yeah, when a government fails, it's not just a headline about politics, it's stories like Rina's, real people losing their savings, their stability, their sense of security, and that's the true cost of instability. It's not just about who leads the country, it's about how everyday people manage to pick up the pieces when everything around them collapses.